Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed those two psych outs, which we planned on purpose to test whether people were very excited to see the stream and your level of dedication. You will be handsomely rewarded with Loxodon goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Indigo Chameleon. I hope you are having a fantastic Friday evening. This is a one shot that we are doing that is going to be taking a group of Loxodons as they make their way through an adventure of epic proportions. Um, before we get started, I'm actually not going to do the announcements all over again. If you want to find out what's going on, check the Discord. We're going to jump right into tonight's adventure. We're going to start with introducing you to some of our players. Guys, if you don't mind going around the horn and or Tusk and introducing yourselves as to your name. You can use your Twitch handle and your player and tell us a little bit about them. Somebody sometime, would you mind going first for me?
Of course. Go ahead. I'm somebody sometime, and I'll be playing Tanzor, Loxodon Monk.
Loxodon Monk. Perfect. Wolf.
I'm Wolf Garen, and tonight I'll be playing Trini, a lovely Loxodon thief, and I'll tell you, that paladin we've got, so beautiful.
Well, we have to talk about the paladin then. Nitro, you want to talk about your paladin, boy?
Yes, Nitro, and my paladin is a simple paladin. His name is, and he's about 7 feet 1 inches, 483 pounds. He was indentured into the military for about 100 years, so he's just now out of the military and has joined this group at 286 years old, and a little confused by Trini's armor of him.
Ooh, okay. And another newbie into my little DM collective, Moswald.
Hello, folks. My name is Moswald. I will be playing good old Bard, Barwin Bailey, and I will be your charismatic bard for the night. So, from what I've gathered in our party, we have strength of mountains, the fastest hands in all the lands, as well as some magic to astonish. We all kind of have a couple tricks up our sleeve, so take a seat, have a drink, and join us what could be, no, will be, the greatest show on earth.
And last, but certainly not least, I'm so into this Barker Bard. Last, but certainly not least, Indigo.
Hey y'all, my name is Lexi. I'm Lexi Loxy. I am a druid. I love humans. In fact, although I can wild shape into many, many different things, my favorite wild shape is to wild shape into a human. I just find them so adorable, you know?
Loxy, the human rights activist. Very good.
Oh, save the humans. Save all of the humans. They are in danger. They're in danger from themselves.
All right, we have our adventurers, and I would like to remind everybody tuning in that this is family-friendly D&D, so you can watch with the little ones. You can tell it's family-friendly D&D because you see that little baby crayon karma on the screen, so that's always your little symbol that, hey, this is appropriate for the littles. So we have our adventurers. Let us begin. Heroes, you all work for the organization known as Tusk. Tusk stands for Tackling Undead, Saving Kingdoms. You are part of an elite force of Loxodons that travels the kingdom of Fairly in order to protect it and its people from undead threats posing in circuses across the land. It is, if you think it sounds hyper-specific, it's because it is. All of you have been traveling together for quite some time because you are the best of the best. You are now standing in front of the Tusk commander. And I say commander, but he's actually, he's more of a colonel. The colonel stands in front of you, and I think Wolf just got the joke, and somebody else might have it. The colonel stands in front of you, grizzled, sort of large tusk, and he sits at his desk and he says, "All right, team, I'm sending you forth to to discover some hard goings on at a circus that we've discovered. Dr. Desmond is Dr. Desmond's traveling circus has had some reports of some strange happenings and things of that sort. So we need you to head out post haste and make your way to the circus."
Oh, goody! I love the circus.
Well, sir, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. What are these reports? What are we looking for? What are we doing?
Oh, well, that's not my job. You're going to want to report to your mission control specialist. Down the hall, 2 doors on your left. As you head out of this room, after speaking with the colonel, you find yourselves at your mission specialist. Your mission specialist is a rather large elephant that almost takes up the majority of the room. This Loxodon is somewhat clumsy as they move about the room. They're sort of knocking things off shelves and off tables, but you recognize him as sort of your handler in the organization, Tiny. As you make your way towards the room, Tiny turns around and looks at all of you guys and says, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going?"
Hi, Tiny.
Hey.
Hi. Okay. Yes, you guys are here for the mission. Let me show you what you're dealing with. Tiny ushers you all inside, and he sort of squishes himself behind this very way too small podium near the front of the space. And as he does, he casts a minor illusion. But every time he casts a minor illusion on the wall in front of him, he makes a clicking noise with his mouth. And it almost sounds like a rudimentary slide is being turned, but he's doing it on purpose. So he goes, click. You'll see in front of you the sign for Dr. Desmond's traveling circus. This circus, we've had reports of missing town folks. The circus travels from place to place, and although we know very little about the goings on, we figured that this would be a perfect place to send you all because of this. And you hear him go, click! And as he does, another illusion sort of pops up on the wall, and you see a poster in front of you. The poster is displaying the words Dr. Desmond's Traveling Circus. And as it says Dr. Desmond's Traveling Circus, you see this grotesque figure of a clown and on the poster. And the clown is sort of doing this move where it's ushering you forward on the poster. But it's just an odd, almost grotesque rendition of a clown.
Y'all, I've never been real partial to clowns.
Me neither. Oh, but I'll bet Simon will take care of us.
I hope so. I don't like clowns. Smooth.
Who does like clowns?
They're weird looking. Small hands.
And that big. Oh, I actually kind of like big noses, but it's so red and round.
Yeah.
All
He's
right,
kind of
guys.
creepy looking.
Very creepy.
So there was reports of happenings and stuff around. So do we have any specifics, or are we just kind of going in blind?
No, you're kind of going in blind here. But
Military
you're not
intelligence.
you're not going in unprepared. And Tiny will turn around, and as he does, he will knock over the podium with his tail, crashing it to the ground. As he does, he comes forward and sort of puts a box in front of you all. Opening the box, you'll find several items. You'll find 5 regular healing potions. So just enough to get by. So if everyone wants to add a healing potion to their inventory.
Okay.
You'll find a red nose, like something a clown would wear.
Mm-hmm. Disguise.
Yes. And you will find a very long, very beautiful black feather. Now, the potions are somewhat self-explanatory. You're going to be able to use those how you think you will. You just drink them up if you're down. The red nose, it is a one-time use. It is for an hour. One of you will be able to infiltrate as one of their own and come across as the appearance of a clown. It only works for an hour, so use this sparingly. And he holds out the nose. Who's taking the nose?
I'll take it. I'll take the nose. Yeah.
Excellent, Barnum.
You just seem so much more charismatic than many of us.
And of course, I don't need the noses. I can just hide.
I'm also good at I'm really good at hiding too.
I was more partial to the feather to put it in my hat, but I guess I'll take the nose.
Can you tell us about this feather? Does it do anything special?
Well, this feather was retrieved by one of our operatives in the field. This feather acts as a conduit for the flying spell.
Oh.
And it is a consumable. It is a one-time thing. And I've seen a lot of things, but I don't think I've ever seen an elephant fly.
I was going to say it.
I've seen a house fly.
Somebody sometime. Do you take that one? Is that what that movement was?
Yeah.
Quick, as you can see, a trunk sort of flows out, grabs it up, and then goes back as your resident monk Tanzor has grabbed the feather and sort of held onto it.
How does this thing work?
You hold the feather, and I don't know. You gotta believe you can do it.
Good thoughts? Wave my ears around.
I mean,
Any
sure.
little happy thought?
I'm just worried that if I
Think
were
of
to
a magical thing. It's the same as having wings.
Take the path that moonbeams make.
I'm gonna have to stop you guys from singing anymore. We're gonna run into copyright issues. But good luck. Let me know how it goes. Please try to bring it back. Who knows? We might be able to use it if this gets picked up to a series. Anyway, have a great adventure.
Thanks, Tiny. And I actually skip up and give him a little kiss on the cheek.
Tiny blushes, and as he blushes, he sort of like takes a step backwards and just falls straight through the back wall,
Oh, Tiny!
Into the colonel's office, and the colonel's like, "Tiny."
Third time this week.
Yeah. You make your way through the facility, the Tusk facility. You make your way to the transportation area. As you're sort of
tell me it's a train.
It is not a train.
Oh.
It's a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
You see Tiny's partner in crime, Large, who is working the transportation area, and Large is the smallest elephant you've ever seen in your entire life.
But is he in charge?
No. But he has big dreams. And Large is a Loxodon that seems to be sort of bustling about the space and goes, "Hey guys, I heard you're going to the circus."
Yeah, we're gonna go see some clowns. It's yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
It's sure to be, I'm sure.
But Lexi likes humans, so I mean, it shouldn't be too bad, right?
Well, I don't plan on working for them or anything, so it should be okay, right?
Yeah, you know.
Hey Lexi,
Yeah?
what's your fun human fact for the day?
Oh, my fun human fact. Did you know that humans usually only eat 3 meals a day?
That sounds dumb.
How do they survive?
Well, one of those meals is hamburgers. And then they eat a lot of hot dogs and chips. And I don't know if they ever eat vegetables.
Seems atrocious.
I
This
know.
doesn't seem very healthy.
I know it's terrible. This is why they're in so much danger and we have to save them.
Okay.
Hard to
Well, that was
save
more
them
of a
if they're
depressing fact, but
I'm
have
sorry.
fun. Large sort of walks forward over to a transportation circle and is drawing arcane sigils into the ground. Now this circle will take you right outside the circus. There might have been a little bit more adventure to this, but due to some technical difficulties, I'm just gonna send you right there.
Oh,
Thanks,
my
Ledge.
mom always says, "Go large or go home."
Your mom sounds like a very wonderful woman.
Or
All right.
something.
I wish I knew my mother.
I'm gonna
3,
go.
2, 1, launch. And as launch happens, the transportation spell kicks off, and everyone standing inside the circle is transported to a lush green field. This lush green field is overlooking what seems to be large tents off in the distance. It is close to evening time, and you're seeing creatures of different sizes and makes, all making their way towards the shining lights and pyrotechnics that light the night sky. Off in the distance, you see Dr. Desmond's traveling circus. Excited children fill the grounds as they sort of rush forward, parents sort of like being dragged by the children themselves. You're hearing music. Give me perception checks. Your first roll of the game, everyone.
That was
Let
a
me
nat
know if you
one.
Hey, me too.
get 2 nat 1.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta look at perception.
This is gonna go great.
That'd be a 13.
19 total.
20, not nat.
Woo.
20,
Okay.
not nat.
Okay, so Wolf and Mike, as you're sort of looking around as you're walking towards the field, you're noticing the same things that you normally would associate with the circus. You're smelling the different smells of food and stuff like that. I will say there's another smell that sort of cuts through, and your noses give you actually advantage when it comes to perception checks. Just a heads up when it comes to smell. So what I will do from here on in is, this was your reminder of the game. Anytime I ask you to make a perception check, go ahead and make that at advantage. And a lot of the perceptions that I've written into the adventure are associated with a smell. Okay.
Amazing.
So you smell the faint smell of brimstone over the air, and you notice that there's a lot of different smells in the air, and if you weren't a Loxodon, you would just smell like popcorn and cotton candy, which are doing a fairly decent job of masking this odor. But you're detecting the scent of brimstone on the air as you start making your way closer to this circus.
I kind of cozy on up to Simon. Do you smell that?
You caught it too. Yes. Brimstone.
Okay, so it's not the bard then.
Hey, that's happened once.
I've just okay.
Tree.
Yeah, it
That,
is.
that smell is sulfur. It's a little different than brimstone.
Well, you know, come see, come saw. It's fine.
Right.
So can anybody else smell the brimstone? Because it's
I just smelled that arcane stuff. It's
Yeah, it's
Um,
there. You guys will catch it soon enough.
I'm sure.
As Trini points it out to you, you do start to pick up on that. It grants you an uneasy feeling. I will say that you're all seasoned adventurers and you know what this smell is associated with. There's sort of a demonic presence in the area. And the juxtaposition of these happy families and the happy kids sort of running towards this puts you on edge. Puts all of you at a little bit on edge.
Mm.
You make your way forward, and as you do, you see a man that is taking tickets from people and taking a little bits of money and exchanging them. as you sort of step forward, there's a line that sort of forms, and after a bit of time, you make your way, and you are at the ticket seller at the front of the circus.
Now, are we standing out being Loxodon, or are there other Loxodon present?
You know what? I would say, give me a perception check. This one's not going to be at advantage.
I think we should just go in and have some fun. That was a 6 total for me.
20 total.
Is this everybody?
This is anybody that would be having this thought. Like anybody that would be specifically checking around to see if there are Loxodon present. If it doesn't matter to you, Trini, I don't
No,
know.
I'm looking for all the adorable little humans. I'm looking at
Yeah.
the children running around because they're so precious.
Just to get the lay of the land, I think Arnold would look, but that was a 16.
You are looking around, and I will say that you're having a hard time spotting other Loxodon. Loxodon are somewhat prevalent in Fairly, but for some reason you're seeing elves, humans. You got a high enough perception roll, Simon, that when you sort of scan the crowd, you sort of look past the ticket taker. And at one of the carnival games, you see a Loxodon who seems to be working one of the carnival games and sort of doing the game where you throw the ball at the cans and see how many you can knock over. But so the only Loxodon you see isn't entering; it seems to be working the event.
Okay. I'll say to Barnum, implement code Alpha 3.
Oh, I just love when he talks like that.
Alpha 3, Alpha 3, Alpha 3.
Alpha 3.
Aha. Alpha 3, Alpha 3. I missed that training course.
It's the one where we pretend to work here.
I figured. So I'm gonna go up to the ticket teller and kind of just we're with the gentleman in the back working the carnival. We're the relief, so we're just gonna get him and we'll be on our way.
Oh, I didn't know that we were hiring new folks here to the circus.
Last minute add on, Big Boss person said he needed some extra help, and here we are. And as you can see, we're one of a kind, so of course we'll bring in extra people. That's why we have a big crowd today. Big money.
I love this. Give me a deception check.
Deception. That's 17.
Well, hey, you'd know better than I would. Come on in. And
Thank you, my good sir. Absolutely. What is?
and he sort of lifts the rope and lets you in. And as he does, he's like, step right up and see the freakish Loxodons. Now's working at Dr. Desmond's circus.
Hey, that's rude.
Amazing Loxodons. You misread that one. Amazing.
Amazingly freakish Loxodon.
I think
Elephant
it's
man walking
Trini,
around the circus.
Execute Zebra 8. Backflip.
Okay.
Backflip.
I do a backflip double gainer and land in a 3-point hero mode.
Give me an athletics check. With every adjective you added to that, the DC got higher.
I want to just because it's gonna be amazing.
She wanted to do a somersault, is what she wanted to
Oh, baby! I just rolled a nat 20.
Yes.
We're a well-oiled and trained machine.
As you walk in, there's people that are just kind of doing like a little smattering, and then all of a sudden, like Trini, like does this. All right, you've been training for this. Here we go, and does this amazing sort of gymnastics routine, like double backflip, somersault, gainer with a heroic landing. And as she does, she flips through the air and she grabs an ice cream cone from a child next to her, throws that in the air. All of the pieces tumble. She manages to catch the cone, catch all of the scoops, and then hand it back to the child. And the crowd just goes nuts. Like people are applauding and screaming. Like it is the most amazing feat you've ever seen.
So amazing Loxodons.
The amazing Loxodon.
There we go.
Go ahead.
No, please, no.
You are in the circus. There are lots of different things about. You see a lot of the traditional sort of games, and there's a few rides off in the corner. All roads in the circus, all sort of paths, lead you towards this main tent. This tent area, it doesn't look like anyone's going inside, but you do see a sign up front that says, the show starts in 1 hour, and almost by magic, the sign flickers and changes. As time goes on, there's a timer. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. As it sort of counts down, and people are just hurriedly sort of enjoying games, going on some of the different rides, and going into some of the attractions before the show starts.
Okay. Well, we're in.
Before we go in, are there any of the attractions that stand out as being a little unusual or a little suspicious, or something that might pull just a few people but not a lot of people?
Give me an investigation check.
Ooh, actually, that was kind of good. 17 plus 1, 18.
Okay, so Loxy, you're sort of looking around specifically at the attractions, and you see a little girl that's standing in front of the haunted house, and she's crying. There's nobody around her. She takes a few halting steps forward towards the house, and then gets to the door and sort of runs back and paces in that spot, and this repeats several times.
I'm gonna run over there. Hang on, guys. And I run over to her and I'm like, "Are you okay, little girl? What's wrong?"
This is the only one that I think I can do, and I really want to go see the show.
The only one, like the only attraction that you can do?
Yeah, not everybody gets to go see the show
Why doesn't everybody get to see the show?
because they hid tickets.
Who hid tickets?
She hands you a little flyer that she has crumbled up and folded in her back pocket, and on the flyer it says "Super Secret Show." Not on the main stage. You have to find the golden ticket, and on it are a list of attractions and games scattered throughout. And she's holding the piece of paper and sort of she looks at you and she kind of folds it back up and puts it in her back pocket and says, "Don't tell any of the adults, though. We're not supposed to tell the adult."
So there's a bunch of kids looking for golden tickets without their parents?
Yeah, you're not supposed to tell.
Well, this seems super dangerous. Where's your mama?
When you say "Where's your mama," she sort of looks at you and she realizes that she messed up. She was supposed to tell an adult, and just sort of runs over to where her mom is, and like holds her hand and sort of runs away from the haunted house and goes back to grab her.
Okay, I'm gonna run over to Mom and I'm gonna say, "I think your daughter got a pretty dangerous flyer. I'd like to take it and report it to the authorities, please."
I need you to go ahead and make an intimidation check, because you're a charging Loxodon.
Oh no!
And your head's in the right place.
You're
So,
right. Okay. Intimidation, that's only a 9.
Okay, that's good. One of the few times you kind of wanted to roll low here.
Okay.
You go charging over and it's stomp, 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 and you stop like right before you get to there, and you're like, "I think your child's in danger," and she kind of like jerks up, and she goes, "What are you talking about?"
Someone gave your child a flyer to go by herself looking for a golden ticket, and I think I need to take this flyer and report it to the authorities. Can I please have it for evidence?
And the mother looks down at the child, and the child just kind of like sheepishly looks at the ground. She goes, "Hand it over." And the child shakes her head, and the mother goes, "Etheria, hand it over." And Etheria reaches in her back pocket, hands up hands up the paper to you, and the human woman sort of looks at you and goes, "I'm really sorry." She's always kind of getting into.
Thank you very much. And Etheria, you have a wonderful day and stay safe, okay?
As you say that, you get like the worst smell in the world sort of hitting you. You don't know where it comes from.
Oh, she did prestidigitation on me.
But yes, you have before you the super secret invitation, and sure enough, this looks sketchy. There, the super secret show, the fact that it says don't tell your adults, and sure enough, at the bottom of it, that same grinning visage of the clown you see at the very bottom of this piece of paper.
Okay, so I go back over to the group and I explain what just happened in summary. Um, and I say, I have an idea, but it's not something that I can pull off on my own. See, if one of us, or more than one of us could look like a child, then maybe they could go after the golden ticket and we can find out what's happening to these people. And I could follow along. I can be invisible and stuff, and maybe other people could disguise themselves too, but maybe we could get a group together to track down what's happening to these kids.
I can look like a child.
What other tools do we have at our disposal? If she could look like a child and if I could go invisible, I mean, I hate to split us up in two different directions because I know how dangerous that can be. So
I'd rather hold on to the clown nose.
yeah. Oh, that's true. Well, and I also have the ability. Oh, but not at once. Okay, so I can go invisible, but I can also help all of us separately to be super sneaky. You'd be surprised how stealthy we could be as Loxodons. I mean, people would we'd be like almost +10 stealthier than we naturally are.
It's crazy, that's why we get sent on all these missions, because we're like,
You wouldn't think
And
it would
we
make a
know
lot of
how
sense as big as
stealthy
we
I
are.
am not.
well, you can be like the dad to the child. You can hide in plain sight. It'll be all right.
Will you be my
Excellent.
daddy, Simon?
Oh God.
I retract my previous statement.
We've had this talk. No. I'm gonna go check on
Can I?
the other Loxodon that we saw. I trust you guys to stay out of trouble.
Of course, I'm going to stay right with you,
That's the worst thing you should trust.
Daddy.
Out of trouble.
All right, let's see this scene.
I slip my
Oh.
hand into Simon's hand.
As Simon and Trinity, you guys start walking over to one of these games with the where you knock over the cans. You see a Loxodon in front of you, and there's nobody currently at the booth. He's not really barking at the passerbys as you see some of the other members of their booths are, who are trying to hustle and get people over and stuff like that. He's sort of leaned up against the corner of the booth.
Now, can I ask real quick, was this game happen to be listed on the flyer that we had?
It was listed under the flyer that you had.
Hey, Daddy, can I try this one?
If you want.
Oh, thank you, Daddy. And I plan a kiss on his cheek. I have to bend down a little bit to do it, but
he startles at you sort of speaking and sort of looks over at you too and says, yes, welcome to the ball toss. You just have to knock over the cans. Are you sure you want to play this?
oh yes, please let me play. Is it okay, Daddy? Is it okay?
Yes.
He He sort of looks nervous. He asks for a silver piece.
Pay the man, Daddy.
I'll give him one.
You give him a silver piece, and he reaches underneath the counter and pulls out a basket with what looks to be like four like baseballs in them, roughly sized. Before you is a sort of pyramid of cans. I say pyramid, but it's like 4, 3, 2, 1 of the metal cans.
How many stations are there? Is it just one station, or is there 3 stations, 4 stations?
There's 3 stations.
And he's standing at the far left side,
Far left.
right side. Okay, so you should try the one at the far right.
Okay. Is there a reason why I'm trying the one on the far right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna throw this. You can give me a ranged attack roll on this. I think is appropriate.
Okay.
So like dex and proficiency. Where are you looking while she throws these, Mike?
I'm gonna stand next to the guy and wait for her to start, and then I'm gonna try and chat him up.
What's your passive perception?
12.
Okay, good.
That would be a 16 on my first throw.
It's a good throw. You take off. I want to say like those first like 2 rows and 1 on the third. Like you get a good chunk of it. You throw that thing right in the center.
Do you see that, Daddy? Do you see that, Daddy?
Yeah.
Excellent.
16.
Okay. Once again, you got it down to like the final sort of can on the far right at the bottom.
Okay, I'm making a show of this to try to distract the worker as much as possible.
Okay.
But just really doing my wind up and up on my tippy toes and doing the little Fred Flintstone thing with the bowling and let her rip. That would be a 21. Thank you very much.
You wind up and you throw that ball at the last one, and you hit it square on with a 21, and it doesn't move.
I glare over at the guy behind the counter. Give him my-
Am I seeing this? If I'm far back away, can I see that it tunk and it didn't move?
No, they purposely walked away from you guys to go and talk to this, and said that you guys are keeping out of trouble. So this is just the 2 of them.
Okay.
He is purposely avoiding your eyes, Wolf. Like just not. He's staring straight ahead.
I reach over with my trunk and tug at his coat, and I say, Mister.
Yes. Better luck next time.
I'll give you next time. I'm going to give you next time right now.
He looks over at you, Simon, and says, "Are you going to let her talk to me like that?"
And I've got my hands on my hips right now.
Yes, I am.
You watch this, Daddy. Watch this. I've got 1 shot left, right?
You do.
I am winding up, and I mean, we've got 3 arm swings going around, and I pull back and I let that thing rip, and I roll a 9.
She goes, Dad, watch. Are you watching? Are you watching? Dad, are you watching? Are you watching? And winds up and throws the ball, and it's not that hard to hit. Like it's right there, pretty close, and you're a rogue. This is meant for like kids and stuff. So you watch as the ball sort of clips it, and as the ball sort of clips it, he leans over and says, "You don't want this prize." He says that to you, Simon.
I'm sorry. What prize are you referring to?
And as he sighs and reaches under the counter, and under the counter is a stuffed elephant.
Seems appropriate.
Are you sure?
Is it going to harm me, or is it poor construction, or are you just saying it's embarrassing?
Simon will cough, and as he coughs, he sort of taps something under the counter, and a good 30 seconds after you threw that ball, that last can just sort of like tips over. He's like, "You did it. Congratulations." And he hands you a little stuffed elephant.
I squeeze it and I hug it.
As you squeeze it, its mouth opens, and inside you see the glimmering paper of a shiny gold ticket.
Thank you, sir. I don't pull it out yet. I don't even know if I want to let this guy know that it's happened.
Yeah.
But I'm like, thanks, Daddy. Thanks, Daddy.
He leans back up against the wall, and as he does, he starts rummaging around and picking up the cans that fell on the ground and picking them up and slowly starting to set them back.
What's this guy's name?
You haven't asked.
Oh, yeah, I'll ask him now. What's your name?
Hannibal.
Hannibal. How did you end up here?
It's a long story. I kind of had trouble getting a job that was on the up and up, and Dr. Desmond sort of took me in. Gave me this job.
So this is on the up and up.
Sure.
Interesting. Well, you should reset your bottles, it seems.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I love this voice, Simon. I love this like Western sheriff like. Okay. So he starts setting up the bottles and sort of like shying away from you. Let's get back to the other group as you have watched your rogue and her dad sort of make their way into the crowd. What are the rest of you doing?
I want to see what else is on that paper, like what other attractions. Because if we all go up to the same one, it's going to be a little suspicious. So, what else is on that paper?
Sure. On the rest of the paper are the fun house, the strength contest, the haunted house, and the tunnel of love.
I'm going to look for this tunnel of love, absolutely.
Aren't we always?
I know.
Well, I should go with you. I mean, I could be invisible, or we can be super stealthy or something.
Or, hear me out, you just come with me together. It's a tunnel of love. They're never going to expect anything. Let's go.
Aw, thanks. Except they're just looking for children. Huh. Well, maybe we can just get in there and we can search around, see if we can find a ticket.
Doesn't say.
The tickets are hidden in there. They're not necessarily scanning to make sure it's just kids that go in the haunted house, or just kids that go in the fun house.
Okay, let's go to the tunnel of love.
Let's go to the tunnel of love.
Yeah. You go to the tunnel of love, and as you go to the tunnel of love, you realize that there are couples that are sort of walking towards the tunnel of love, but as the couples get close, they notice that every single boat is being taken over by like little kids that are just making fart noises as the boats go through the tunnel. And most couples just sort of walk forward, see that, and then turn and walk like right back around. And you realize that the tunnel of love isn't very romantic at all. It's essentially people being in the dark and just sort of screaming and making obscene noises at each other.
Amazing. The exact cover we need.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go in the tunnel of love.
Let's go in the tunnel of love.
Great. How much do the two of you weigh?
A lot.
Great. You walk up to the ride attendant at the Tunnel of Love, and he says, "Hi, welcome to the Whoa."
I'm feeling discriminated against right now.
Is there a problem? Is there a problem?
Aren't there little ride testers outside where we can sit in the chair and see if we fit?
There's nothing out front that says this would be a problem, so we should just go right in, right?
Let me call my supervisor.
No. It's gonna be a waste of time because you're gonna tell me the same thing.
Oh my gosh, he's calling me fat, honey. He's calling me fat right now.
Why?
No.
We just wanted to go in the Tunnel of Love. We just wanted to have a romantic time, just the two of us.
Okay.
And you're sitting here.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. Some
All
people
I
don't
wanted,
understand.
the only thing I wanted to do at the circus today was go in the Tunnel of Love with my
You feel
sweetie
good?
pie.
Do you feel good, sir?
I need the two of you. I need the two of you to give me. This isn't really persuasion check. This is a can I speak to your manager check. So this is really an intimidation check as the two of you start sort of freaking out. Both of you make it, or you can grant advantage towards one person. No, Tracy already rolled.
I just rolled 2.
What did you get?
So I rolled 17 plus 5, and that's a 22.
That you go with that.
22. I think we broke.
I'm waiting on she came here for one thing, to see the circus and do the, and to do the Tunnel of Love. So you're gonna rip that from her?
You watch as another sort of employee comes up, and he goes, "Hey there, Terry. What seems to? Oh, hi.
Hi.
No. I think we've got this covered." And you sit in the boat, and there's this. Like as it creaks to one side and sort of leans, and then Loxy, I think you sit on the other side and you hear this like creaking sound, and then the man discreetly casts levitate on the boat, and the boat just goes and seems to like float just a little bit above the water.
Well, and don't worry, if we spring any leaks, I'll just cast mending on them. It's a cantrip.
As you say that, you're looking at these boats and like no amount of mending. This boat is done. This boat, you are sending this boat to retirement, essentially.
We'll give it its last ride, baby. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
And he pushes the boat forward, and as it goes forward, you are in sort of like a darkened sort of tunnel above you. It's not like paper mache, because even paper mache like would take a lot to upkeep. What you see small dwarves, beard complete, tied to strings that are like swinging above and sort of dropping flower petals on people, and wearing like diapers.
Oh gosh.
Before you are these sort of like red and carts that seem to be scattered all about. And like I said, it's not romantic at all, because every once in a while you'll hear, like as kids up front are making like farting noises and things of that sort. One of the dwarves is sort of flying around and drops some flowers on you, and he says, "Here's for the love," and just drops some flower petals on you, and the boat creeps ever forward down the Tunnel of Love.
As soon as we get into the tunnel, because this lasts for 10 minutes, and I'm guessing the ride is less than 10 minutes. As soon as we get into the tunnel, I'm going to cast Locate Object to locate a golden ticket. Like I got to see the other one, right? Or did I not? It was just described.
You have not seen the golden ticket, but I will say.
Okay, but it can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool. So any sort of a golden ticket type.
You cast the spell, and as the boat's sort of moving forward, going down this track, you feel the golden ticket move as you're moving in the boat, and just sort of like swinging above. And it's then you start tracking one of the dwarves that's floating above you, and sticking right out of that diaper, like up near the top.
All right, I'm pointing. I'm pointing to the golden ticket sticking out of the diaper and whispering, "Dapper, dapper."
Okay.
If not, I got this.
I-
You got
by all
an
means,
idea?
hit the-
If not, I've got an idea.
We'll try yours first.
Okay, I cast Charm Person on the dwarf.
Okay, you cast Charm Person.
Yes.
What is the spell save DC?
It's a Wisdom save of 14.
Okay. This dwarf is sort of flying around and sprinkling flowers on people, and occasionally the children in the boat ahead of you, one of them is starting to like take pieces of paper, dip it in the water, and throw it and see if they can hit the dwarf. And he sort of gets splattered with water, and then all of a sudden the dwarf sort of swivels his head and looks at you, and holds the rope in place so that he can like drop down, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?
Hey, darling, it looks like you're having a rough go of things in here.
You know, I'm not getting paid enough for this."
You are not. You are far too talented for this place. You should really be on a much larger stage.
It's true. It's so true. Hey, is this guy bothering you? And he points to the Loxodon.
Oh.
He points to Barnum.
Nah, he's like my cousin's half brother's son. I don't know. He just agreed to come in here with me because you know, you got to experience all the things at the circus, you know. Anyway,
That's true.
I was wondering about that little golden ticket you got shining there.
Oh, yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
And he like takes it out and hands it to you, and he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah. If you really want it, you can have it."
Oh, thanks. Can you tell me the story behind these things?
Well, it all happened when the owner of this circus, and that's when the rope catches, like on the wall, because they're only tethered so long, and he just sort of is like jerked backward as he's telling the story. Like he wasn't paying attention to the boat was still moving, but the rope is somewhat tethered, and so it just sort of like gets jerked backward, and it's like, "I love you, bye."
Oh no!
Thanks, you never stood a chance anyway.
Oh, I'll think of you. Go find a big stage or something. Sing and dance. I wish you the best.
It takes a while. The boat finally makes its way out of the Tunnel of Love. It does not stop where the other boats are. In fact, the forward momentum and the fact that Levitate spell was cast on it, as you sort of get off on the ride platform, that boat just sort of keeps moving forward, like until it's out of sight past the ride platform and just starts sort of going off into the ether, a la Grease.
Sorry about that brother's cousin's son thing. I just needed to be charming in the moment.
You got the ticket. I mean, you did exactly what I would have done, I guess.
Probably less convincingly because I'm not male, but you know.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you have 2 golden tickets.
Because I got a
Well,
golden ticket. Sorry.
Let's cut back to our monk, who has been standing somewhat stalwart as the other 2 parties make their way towards the golden tickets. Sir, you have several different options here if you want to try to secure a golden ticket for yourself. Or if you have something else in mind, you can do that as well.
Is he awake?
Might be frozen.
Oh no, is he frozen?
They've frozen our monk.
Who froze him? Who froze
He's eating
Tanzor?
ice cream.
Looking as stoic as humanly possible. He continues to survey his surroundings with great aplomb and
So intent.
stalwart
Focus.
fastness. I will say
Sorry, I was
then,
muted.
Almost in a trance.
Your picture's not moving at all. Are you?
Yeah, I just realized that.
And he was muted.
He
didn't know he was
stone
muted.
cold monk.
That stare is killing us.
oh my gosh,
Oh man, that's.
always these monks that are
Horrifying.
just so serious.
I'm gonna go to the haunted house.
Perfect. Oh, this is great. I was kind of hoping somebody would. You make your way to the haunted house. As you do you want to try turning off your camera and then turning it back on? See if that fixes the problem.
Sure.
See if that does it.
Or not.
Well, he's gone.
He disappeared into the haunted
The
house.
haunted house got him.
Ooh.
It's terrible.
Somebody sometime, can you still hear me?
And then there were 4.
Can you still hear me? Are you still there? Or we just can't see you?
That really was a haunted house.
It is really dark in this haunted house, guys.
This is now a
Right.
rescue
You
mission.
want me to go check on him real quick? See
Why
what's
don't
going
you?
on?
Yeah, because honestly, this is how most people get taken in a haunted house. Like it's somebody being like, "I'll be right back. Let me go check on them," and then it just happens.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I trust that somebody sometime will be back when he is able. However, the 4 of you sort of meet up and you guys watch as your monk is sort of standing forward, sort of surveying the surroundings. He's doing the equivalent of a super patient defense, as he is prepared for any attack that might come from any direction at any time. Period.
It's almost like he has omnipresence.
Omnipresent defense.
You know, I've seen that in this man. He is quite amazing to watch sometimes.
Nothing can break through that defense.
He's just.
So you know, Simon, I was thinking that you and I make such an excellent team. Can I just working with you has been the greatest joy of my life. I just want you to know that.
As
I'm holding onto his arm as tightly as possible right now.
Unnecessary.
Oh, but so exhilarating.
I'm gonna hold on to Simon's hand now. Now you've got 2 of us.
It is a very
Talk
sweet
about
moment.
personal space.
Only once.
Etheria walks by again. This time she's somewhat gotten away from her mom, and she sees you holding one hand and sees you holding the other, and she just walks behind you, Simon, and holds your tail.
This is appropriate.
The time.
I'm there too, right?
What?
I'm there too,
Yes.
right?
You are there.
Do y'all need a moment or something? I mean, I can back off and go find another golden ticket.
Listen, honey, we just did a ton of love together. I just want to show the other person that I appreciate them as well. You know.
Yeah, this is getting a little awkward. So,
Only if you make it awkward.
what's left on the
Loxy.
list?
Loxy.
It's Lexi. Lexi.
Yeah,
Loxy,
Loxy,
Lexi.
thank you.
I use her last name. Is there a problem?
Yeah, there is, because it's not my first name.
It is a sign of respect. Hard one off from the military, so please forgive me.
All right,
There
I'll take
is-
it as such.
There is a sound like thunder as some pyrotechnics and fireworks go off, and the timer you see has counted down to 0, and there is a large rush of people that seem to run towards the main tented area. People are excited. You see different performers that are now lining the pathways toward this main stage show area. People are clapping and hurriedly buying their last little bits of popcorn. As that happens, the last group of people all sort of make their way to the tented area. As the last people go through, the tent is closed behind them. You can see sort of lights shining out from the large tent. And it's very dark as some of the individual lights in the circus start to shut down. A lot of the games start closing the tents that house them. As that happens, the gold tickets in your possession start to shine ever so brightly, lighting a path in the dirt that moves away from the main tent, almost to a little bit of the outskirts behind the tent.
Are you guys seeing this?
Yeah, we got to follow.
I'm not quite
Let's
believing
do-
it.
Do you want to be like super, super sneaky while we're following? Because they're not expecting 6 Loxodons or 5. There's how many of us? I'm not good at counting. I don't have fingers.
It's 5, darling. It's
Yes.
5, and they're not. But
Well, if you let
I
me
think
turn into a human for just a moment, then I can count them. But it's okay. Fine. We'll just go. Do you want to be stealthy
Yeah.
about it?
I think we'd best. I mean, I can do it on my own, of course. And she starts tiptoeing
Yeah.
in
Well,
that general
well,
direction.
maybe you could just use just a little bit of help for once. Okay. Do you think you could accept help for just a moment?
Of course, darling. Whatever you'd like to do.
All right, so I cast Pass Without a Trace, which means that everybody will get a +10 bonus to stealth checks.
All right. This is a +10. Simon, you're still going to have to roll at disadvantage, but your disadvantage is going to have a +10 too. Okay? So give me stealth checks as you make your way across the ground, following the lights that are now glowing.
Stealth checks.
Stealth checks.
Oh, that's the wrong dice. I
Oh.
did the 12.
I rolled an 18 and a 7, so 17 total.
17 total. Okay.
Thank goodness for that +10. I got a 17 too.
17.
16.
And that's a 19 with the +10.
And as I'm tiptoeing away, I'm doing so at a 27.
Oh.
27. How'd our monk do?
I got a 16.
16. Okay. For the most part, the Loxodon move their way silently through the crowd. The sounds emanating from the tent of applause and music seem to mask your movements. As you do, you come across a tent that looks a little weather beaten and worn down. Standing at the entrance to the tent is a figure in black and white with white face paint and sad eyes and a sad face painted on his face.
Does he look like the one in the flyers?
He does not. He's wearing white gloves, and as you step forward, he sort of looks at you, puts one hand up, but remains silent as you creep forward closer to the tent.
He sees us.
I
He
see.
sees you guys.
There. I'm gonna attempt to do the same thing to persuade to say like I did with the Ticketmaster. We're here to help you guys out. We were told that there was a help needed here at the second tent, and it's our first day. We don't know our way around, so we're sorry we're late. But
He looks confused. He holds out a hand for tickets. Give me a persuasion check.
I can do that. I'm good at that. Thank God I'm good at that. 18.
He looks at you, and then he takes a hand and does one of these. Have you ever seen a performer go like?
Mhm.
When he goes down, it's still the sad. When it comes up, his face is completely changed to look like that of a clown. And he sort of points at it and points at all of you.
Wait, I can't see this face of the hand gesture just made. Does he look convinced or not?
He
I'm gonna
does-
hold up the red nose and be like,
Oh, I lost you.
He points you, Barnum, to the back of the tent.
okay.
And sort of ushers you towards the back. And he looks at the 4 of you. and holds out his hand for ticket.
This is for me, Daddy. And I walk up and I hand him my ticket.
We have 3 tickets between the 5 of us, right?
Barnum has just left the group and walked to the back of the tent.
Right, but we have 3 tickets left for the for the 4 of us.
you.
Yes. Okay. So if I am holding the ticket from the Tunnel of Love, I pass it off to somebody else because I'm going to charm my way through this.
Okay. You are granted access. Simon, are you taking the golden ticket and going inside?
I will take a ticket and I will wait just inside the door.
Okay. And then that will allow the 3 of you to all get in. Do you all 3 go in, leaving Barnum outside and Lexi outside? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already in.
You're already in. It's quiet. You notice a few children that are sort of like seated and in these seats, and they look a little worn and things like that. Lexi, how do you get in?
I cast Charm Person.
Cool. It's a wisdom save, right?
DC 14.
What are the components for this spell?
Okay, let me see.
Are they verbal, somatic?
Yes, there are verbal and somatic components.
Okay. You cast the spell.
I say, oh my gosh, I had my ticket. I swear I did. It was in my hand, and sometimes I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I just drop these things, and you're going to let me in though, right? I mean, you seem like a very, very nice, handsome sort of clown guy.
He holds out his hand for a ticket.
But I had one. It was a perfect little. Oh wait, you know what? I think I just found it right here. Let me just check some spells. Druidcraft. Can I do this? Shoot, baby. Tiny. No, I'm not a sorcerer. I'm a druid. Darn it.
If she's not going to get in, I'm going to try and knock him out.
I love this. As you're looking for a ticket and sort of checking your clothes, Simon, you just give one of those. Give me attack at advantage since there's no way he saw this coming.
So that'll be a 16 plus 6, so 22.
Simon, what's your weapon?
Longsword.
Simon walks forward and with the hilt of his longsword just goes up, like hits him in the back. And as he crumbles to the ground, Alexi, you sort of look over at Simon, and Simon looks down at the mime, looks back at you, and goes, "No ticket." And,
well, that was highly effective. I'm starting to see what Trini sees in you.
There we go. Let's go to Barnum. Barnum,
Yes.
You make your way towards the back of this tent. Do you put the nose on?
I figured I'm going to go ahead and go with the deception and put the nose on.
You put the nose on, and as you look down at your body, you see yourself taking on the visage of a clown. The clothes are worn and tattered. They're a little torn and beat up. As you make your way towards the back of the tent, give me a perception check.
16 plus and perception plus 5,
Yes.
21.
Okay, you walk towards the back, and before you see 4 or 5 large crates or like chests almost, and 3 or 4 clowns that are picking up little tiny dolls and placing them in the chest, and just repeatedly picking up another one and placing it in the chest. And as you watch for a bit, no one pays any sort of attention to you. There is there's and there never seems to be like they're having to fit more dolls into the chest. There's always seems like there's room for one more, and these clowns just continue to fill the chest. Your clothing matches somewhat to it. As you come forward, there is a sense of acknowledgement as they all sort of look up at you at the same time, and then go right back to their work of picking up these small dolls and putting them in the trunks or the chest.
In the trunks, okay. I haven't seen them like change trunks. It's been the same one for the past couple, past little bit now.
They're all putting them in different ones.
Okay.
The four of them, like they're all like sort of filling up their own individual sort of trunk. And, like they're never seeming to run out of room.
Okay.
There is
Go ahead.
There is a loud shout as Dr. Desmond sort of comes out from the back of the tent, and he's eating. Oh man, he's got like a large hunk of cheese, and it stinks to high heaven. And he's just like taking chunks of this thing off in his mouth and chewing it up, and sort of looking at the work that everybody's doing, and sort of starts mingling around, examining some of the dolls and examining sort of the trunks.
Okay. I'm going to, just to get see what's better in these trunks. I'm just going to pretend I've always been there and take a doll and take it to the trunk to see what's inside.
As you take a doll over to a trunk that you know someone's been sort of picking up dolls and placing them in, as you lean over and look inside, there's nothing in the trunk that you can see. It's a black space.
Trunk folded. Okay. Desmond came out of a certain spot in the tent. Like, has he walked past it?
Yeah, I would say you walk past the sort of opening in the flap that he's come out of.
I'm gonna try to see where he came from. Maybe, and he's not gonna like these clothes. Try to find some more authoritative clothes.
Are you doing this stealthily, or are you sort of like just walking through?
I'm just pretending like I've been there all the time.
Give me a performance check as you start to try to imitate the look of the other sort of clowns in this area.
I'm good at that. Ooh, I'm not too good at that right now. It's a 13.
You make your way towards the opening of the tent. You're looking for sort of clothes that sort of match. And Dr. Desmond, who's still eating large chunks of this cheese, which is sort of dribbling on his like face and on his clothes, and it's sort of like as you start making your way, he sort of turns and looks at you, and he's like, "Hey, who are you?"
Oh, hi. My name is Bailey. I just started today. You must be Dr. Desmond, right? Big fan.
Yeah.
I've heard of your research. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. So I saw that there was an opportunity to work here, and I just thought it would be the best thing.
Are you Lester's kid?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. He mentioned that there was an opening just for like a stagehand, and he said, I need the work. You know how times have been.
Give me a deception check.
Come on.
There is no Lester.
17.
He sort of nods his head, and as he does, he's like, "Hold this, and don't go anywhere." And he hands you the block of cheese.
Okay.
You watch as clowns start making their way over to the chest, getting inside, and shutting them behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he starts dragging the chest towards the tent. Give me one more perception check as he drags these 4 chests towards the tent.
Ooh, that's a good one. Dirty 20.
This cheese is crawling with bugs. Creepy crawlies, little insects, like crawling in and out of it. Let's go back to the other group. You guys are all sort of seated down in sort of these wooden rotted benches. Pretty soon, some of the other like little kids, one of the little kids like gets up to leave because he's a little freaked out at sort of like the darkness, and gets up and sort of like runs out of the tent and tries to go join back up at the main tent. There's 3 other kids in the tent with you, and as you look behind you, you see that one of them is definitely a Fury. There is a drum roll, and the curtain sort of rises on the little stage in front of you, and Dr. Desmond sort of comes out and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Dr. Desmond's Secret Circus." And you hear applause coming from somewhere, but it's not coming from the audience. And he goes, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. For my first trick of the night, to start things off with a bang, I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience."
I'm gonna
The monk.
wild. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna wild shape as discreetly as I can, like move behind the benches and wild shape into like a mouse.
Okay.
Because I'm going to attach myself to whatever volunteer happens to go up there.
As you change yourself into a mouse, as Trini sort of raises her, she's the first one to sort of shoot her hand, and starts freaking out. And Dr. Desmond can't even look and see past her, so is forced to sort of, you, little one, come on up to the stage.
And I get excited and I say, I get to go up there, Simon.
No.
I mean, no, this is going to be great. I can figure out what's going on.
At this point, Barnum, you join Dr. Desmond as he's having you drag these trunks on stage.
Okay.
You manage to put one in each hand. As you go up on stage, Trini, you hear, "All right, little one, what's your name?"
I'm Trini.
Trini. That's
Yes,
great.
Trini.
And how old are you?
I'm 6'6".
You're 6'6".
No, just 6.
You're just 6. All right, Trini. Here's what we're gonna do. On the count of 3, I need you to close your eyes and hold out your hand.
Okay.
All right? 1, 2, 3.
And I'm gonna squinting so I can see through my eyes. But I'll go ahead and hold out my hands.
As you hold out your hands, he flips open one of the trunks, reaches in, and puts one of those ceramic dolls in your hand. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm a mouse.
All right. I have 20 to 25. Who do I have? No. 20 to 15.
16.
19.
19 for Barnum.
16 for the mouse.
16 for the mouse.
16 for Tanzor.
And what did you get? Somebody sometime? 16 as well. Roll off. The two of you guys.
It's a 5 on the die.
11 on mine.
Okay. What about the two of you boys?
Adding my +3, I have 7.
Oh.
Simon?
Adding my +0, I have 8.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Okay. Here we go. Starting us off is going to be Barnum. Barnum, you watch as the doctor sort of reaches forward and places this sort of mechanical creature, mechanical doll. This clockwork doll sort of turns to look over at Trini, and as it does, it opens its mouth, and a green light starts to emanate from this doll's mouth. As it does, Trini, you start to feel really tired, like really sleepy tired. Okay? I need you to give me a Constitution saving.
Holy moly. That'll be 14.
That's not going to cut it. Trini, you take 7 points of damage, and you're starting to feel a little sleepy. It's not affecting you too bad at the moment, but you're starting to feel just a little sleepy. You don't have a sheet with you, but on your notes section of your character sheet, I need you to write the number 1. If you can, or if you have a piece of paper next to you, just write the number 1 down.
I've
Okay?
got the number 1.
Okay, Barnum,
Alright.
it is now your turn.
Quick question. Where did that damage come from?
The damage seemed to come from the doll that was placed in her hand.
Okay. So I want to say that this might be a chance for because part of my ability, it's a reaction. It's a rebuke the violent. Immediately after attack within 30 feet deals damage with an attack against a creature other than you, I can use that reaction to force the attacker to make a wisdom saving.
That's true. I don't know if it affects like.
Is it a mechanical? That's what I'm asking. Is it inanimate?
It's a mechanical sort of inanimate thing.
Okay.
But I will let you use that for like a physical attack, which are coming up fairly soon. Okay. But keep that in mind. Barnum, what are you doing?
It's Constitution that he had to make for the doll. Okay. For first off, because she's immediately being infected, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability and give her Bear's Endurance, so she has advantage on Constitution checks, and then she has 2d6 temporary hit points.
Trini, you feel emboldened as Barnum. What do you say to sort of embolden your friend over there? Do you just give her encouraging words?
I give her the encouraging words like, "Don't let the doll put you to sleep. We all know this. You took the golden ticket, and you don't want to fall asleep in front of Simon, do you? You don't want to make yourself look bad. Come on now."
Trini, roll those 2d6. You get 2d6 temporary hit points, and you have advantage on all Constitution checks from here on in. That was your action. Are you doing anything with your bonus action?
Who's next in initiative?
That is somebody sometime.
Somebody sometime. I'm gonna give him Bardic Inspiration as well.
All right.
So, absolutely.
Do you do anything? Do you pull out another instrument to use?
I absolutely will pick out my megaphone.
Okay.
With this megaphone, I'll be like, "Tenzer, we all know this. Ladies and gentlemen, let your minds filled with wonder for a moment, where that balance between balance and serenity meets. Tenzer, use this balance as fuel. Your kung fu fighting as arsenal. Your fists will strike as lightning. In fact, it might be a little bit frightening, and your strikes will be with expert timing from now on."
The kids in the crowd start like clapping because they think it's part of the show. But Tanzer, you have a D10 of inspiration that you can use for a roll. So keep that written down. Speaking of, Tanzer, it is now your turn.
I'm gonna pull out my short sword.
Okay.
Say my keyword peanut, which then ignites my sword.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna lunge to attack really any of my enemies. Is that Dr. Doohickey?
Dr. Desmond.
Dr. Desmond. I'll attack him then.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
15.
15 is not going to hit. You come close with the sword, and Dr. Desmond sort of skirts out of the way just a bit. And as it does, the flaming sword ignites a little bit of his clothes, and he starts to like pat it out a little bit and like start to blow it out. But then he looks over, like daggers at you. Does it take a bonus action to ignite the sword itself? I think
Yes.
it does. I think that's your
it
bonus
does.
action.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So that's your action. Are you doing anything else with this turn?
I don't think I have any reactions, so yes.
Do you not get 2 attacks?
That would be with a bonus action, I believe.
No, I think monks you get like the
Monks, you get
the
a second attack. If
Yeah, so look under actions. Let's say attack actions per or attacks per action. Should be 2.
Unless, did you want to use that D10 of inspiration on that attack, on that 15, to see if you can make it land?
Yeah, I'll actually do that then.
Use it, my friend.
That would be 17.
With a move as fast as lightning, and indeed a little bit frightening, the sword finds its mark, igniting Dr. Desmond, and some of the drier sort of material that's a part of him sort of ignites. Roll damage for that attack. While that is happening, be sure to let me know what the damage is.
5 normal damage and 3 fire damage.
3 fire damage. All right. Perfect. Good move. The chest, all 4 of them open up, and 4 sort of clowns start clawing their way out of the chest. As the clowns start clawing their way out of the chest, they each of them in turn will make attacks at all of you. Tracy, that is a 22 against AC.
Yeah, that just barely hits.
Just barely hits.
Just barely.
He's next to me, right?
Yes, she is.
I'll impose disadvantage on that.
Okay.
Oh.
Good call.
That is a 10 against AC.
Nope.
One of the clowns sort of reaches out their hands to sort of grab you, and as you do, you feel the sheer. Is this a shield move, or is this just like your presence?
My fighting style, it's a reaction. I can use it as a reaction to impose disadvantage on attack roll.
You watch as this clown sort of lunges forward towards you, and as it does, it goes to claw into you, but it's held in place. And confused, you look down as Simon's trunk is wrapped around the clown's waist and sort of like shoves it off to the side.
And I say,
as he's
I say, my hero, and I give side eye to Trini.
ooh.
girl.
There's going to be a cat-elephant fight. I can't wait to see. One of the clowns is going to make an attack against you, Trini. No, that's going to miss as well. I think that's a 14 against AC.
That misses.
Okay. They are not rolling hot tonight. That first one was good. Barnum, you got one coming for you, as they heard you just support your buddies. 16 against AC?
I have an AC of 16.
Yeah, that's going to hit, bro. Okay. So this one does 7 points of damage as it sort of launches towards you and sort of bites you in the shoulder. You feel its teeth sort of dig into your flesh a little bit.
So I don't
One is going to take an attack against Simon, but misses. That will bring us around to... you know what? That'll bring us
That
to
should be me.
Trixie. No, Lexi.
Lexi. Okay, and the main guy's still there, right? He's not gone yet?
Correct.
Okay, so I look at him and I go, bad human, bad human. That was not nice. And I produce flame and fling it at him.
All right. Give me an attack roll.
That is a 22 to hit.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's definitely going to hit. Roll
it'll
some
be
damage.
2d8 fire damage, which is 8.
8. That fire seems to be pretty effective against this thing, as the sort of dry skin, and you hear this thing sort of scream out in pain as it recoils backward a little bit. Simon, your turn.
All right. What's the closest one to me? Because you said one tried to attack me, right?
Correct. You have a sort of a zombie clown that's sort of like coming after you.
All right. I'll move to engage him, and I'll swing at him with my sword.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
All right. Let's see. 17.
Simon strides forward, and as he does, all eyes are on him as he brings forth the sword against the clown that's sort of stalking towards him. The sword not only sort of like cuts into him, but as it does, you hear this like loud, like sort of squeak. How much damage does it do?
So let's see. 7, 10 damage. Will channel. Here. Use my smiting.
Smite.
2d8.
Smite.
So an additional 13, and then it's undead. You said.
Yes.
So that does an additional 6. So 19 additional points. So 29 total damage.
This zombie, as it comes forward and this sword sort of like gets close to it, you feel the radiant power sort of radiating from Simon through his sword. And as he does, this golden light sort of fills the space for a brief second. And that zombie clown sort of comes forward, disappearing in a flash of smoke and dust, leaving behind one oversized floppy shoe.
I'll use my next attack for the one that was attacking Lexi.
Perfect. Give me an attack roll.
That one is a 21.
That's definitely going to hit. Roll some damage for me. Are you pumping another smite into this?
Yeah. And this cost,
Okay.
I'm using spell slots,
No,
but
that's
only first level spells.
Understood. First level is 2D? 2D8?
Yep.
Wow. Paladins.
Yeah. Let's see.
Keep this in mind. Oh, it is not your turn next. Somebody else's turn.
I never did say I dropped wild shape. I probably should have said that, huh?
It was kind of understood
Okay.
when you started slinging spells and stuff.
Okay.
This mouse is just casting spells.
26 total.
Oh,
26 total. There is a
See what you
similar
like.
effect as this clown that's sort of making its way towards Trini. Trini, you start to back up as this clown starts getting closer and closer to you, and then the clown sort of bursts into dust and sort of smoke in air, and you see the angelic heavenly image of Simon standing there, his sword in hand, and you wish for a moment that you could make this a poster and just keep it on your wall at home. This is how you shall remember him.
Always.
And then
You
I'm
take-
gonna move towards Barnum.
Cool. You take 4 points of vapor damage. Oh my.
Do I
see
really?
Why you guys like this guy now?
No, you don't.
Okay.
I was gonna say Trini's got the vapor. At the next sound you hear is a bunch of dolls that start jumping and erupting out of those chests and running into the audience towards the 3 screaming children. I say 3 screaming children when there's only two screaming children. A small tiefling that you are somewhat familiar with, girl, has interposed herself in front of the other two and is crackling energy in her hand. I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative
She
for
is so
Etheria.
cool.
I like that one.
All right, Wolf, it is now your turn.
Okay. Am I still holding this doll?
You are still holding this doll.
And am I feeling like I want to get rid of this doll?
You are feeling indifferent other than just a little sleepies.
It's a little sleepy. Well, I'm going to take this doll and actually throw it at the nearest. Who am I looking at as far as opponents go?
You have dolls that have made their way into the audience to go against the children. You have two clowns, two of which are away from you, and you see Dr. Desmond, who's also standing there.
I'm actually going to throw it at Dr. Desmond.
Give me a
And,
ranged attack.
With or without proficiency?
Are you proficient in doll throwing?
You know, the last time I checked that, oh, that's dagger. Sorry, no.
Daggers, dolls, you know.
You're not
I don't know that it would
proficient.
matter anyways. I heave it at him anyways, and a 12, I'm assuming, misses.
The 12 misses. He's going to make a grab for it. As he grabs it, he takes the doll from your hand. He takes the doll that you've thrown towards him. He picks it up, and as he does, he cracks it open, and you see a little bit of light exit forth from the doll and into Dr. Desmond, and he takes a deep breath in. You see some of the wounds that he previously had start to close up.
And I'm torn. I'm actually heading towards the little kids at this point.
Yeah. Are you going to start moving towards the little kids at this point?
I am.
Okay. That is your go. Etheria, it is now your turn.
You are welcome to, but I know what she would be doing right now because there would be a chaos bolt happening.
I just want everyone to know Indigo did not know that I was playing
No!
until like
Oh,
2
crud.
seconds before I did. I'm happy to control
No,
it.
no,
but
no.
if you wanna-
It's okay. I know what she would do, and that way I've got the sheet up in front, and I can even let you know what she would do, but what everything would be. I was just giving her a
Okay.
long rest, so she has her spell slots back.
Chain.
Okay, so she's chaos bolting, and it is a +7, and that is not great. That is only a 12.
A 12 is actually going to hit.
Okay.
So roll damage, and let's see if it jumps.
That is a 2d8. And I'll let you know what it is. So it's it's 2d8 plus something. That's right. I haven't done this in a while. There's a plus. There's a modifier to it.
Roll
Okay.
damage for me.
Okay,
and
so
just let me know
the
what you
d8 is 13.
got. Okay.
Or sorry, the damage is 13, and
Okay.
the type of damage is thunder.
There is a crack of thunder, and all of your eyes are sort of drawn.
I'm so sorry. It's 2d8 plus 1d6. I missed that part. So it's add 4 more to that. Thunder. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. That makes a difference.
Okay.
There is a crack of thunder as the small child that you saw from earlier, who has interposed herself between the two other children, channels some arcane energy in her hand and sends it flying outward towards one of the dolls closest to her. The doll explodes as a spark of electricity comes forward, and as it does, there is a scream of pain from Dr. Desmond on the stage as he sort of grabs onto his left arm instinctively and makes eyes at Etheria. It is now his turn as the dolls are sort of making their way down below. 21 versus Etheria AC.
That's yeah, that's gonna hit her like hard.
Dr. Desmond outstretches a hand, and as he does, this sort of dark energy sort of flows forth from his fingertips. As it does, it careens outward, hitting Etheria. And Etheria, you get this weird sensation, and Etheria just starts dancing.
Like, is it fun? That sounds kind of fun. But it's irritating because I didn't plan on doing that.
It's irritating because you didn't plan on doing that. And some other people here who are somewhat familiar with spells might know what this was just cast. But you feel it's somewhat weird as
but I have a reaction, and I can counterspell it.
you could. You're gonna have to roll a D20 for me as you cast counterspell. Wait a sec. Counterspell is level 3.
No, yeah, it's a level 3 counterspell.
Yes. You got to roll a D20 for me.
Okay, it doesn't give me a modifier. Okay. Then nope, that didn't work. That was a 5.
Okay. Just so you know, you're going to be dancing for a while.
Okay.
Okay. You're shuffling. You're tapping your feet. You're going to be doing this. You have disadvantage on dex throws and attack rolls while you're dancing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. That's Etheria.
Dance fight.
Dance battle. As that happens, you watch as the doctor sort of looks over at the trunks and sees more dolls sort of coming out from the trunks and just sort of smiles and looks at all of you. Barnum, it is now your turn.
Is there? I wouldn't know if this spell was concentration or not, would I?
This particular spell?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, pal. You would actually know. Give me an Arcana check as a free action because I'm a wise and benevolent and kind
Thank you,
DM.
benevolent DM. Because if this works, this is going to work out fantastically.
Okay.
Arcana. Oh, I rolled off the desk. Hold on. 11?
Yeah, I'll make this a low DC. You're one of the few people that can cast this spell. This is the spell Irresistible Dance, and this is indeed a concentration spell.
Okay, awesome. So Barnum's gonna look at this guy and he's gonna cast pyrotechnics and make fireworks and try to distract him. And in his quippy one-liner, he's gonna say, "Did you hear about the circus fire? That's right, it was intense." Boom. And of course, going through the megaphone, so that's a 17 DC for con.
It's a con save of 17.
Con save 17.
I wish I didn't give you that megaphone. He fails his con save.
Yes!
You take full damage on this one, buddy.
It doesn't do any damage. It just makes it so he's blinded until my next turn.
He's blinded?
He's blinded.
Okay. All right. Uh-huh.
Blinded by the
And then I
light.
will use a bonus action. Hold on. There was definitely something I wanted to do with this. I'm going to use Mantle of Inspiration and give everybody, because I can shoot up to 4 people, they get they can use a reaction to move up in speed without doing opportunity attacks, and they get 8 temporary hit points.
Is this your particular college? Are you a college glamour bard?
Mantle of Inspiration, Glamour Bard.
All right. You guys watch as Barnum steps forward, and as he does, there is this moment where Barnum snaps his fingers, and all of the lights in this small tent focus their attention on him, and his cape sort of billows behind him, and you don't know how, but he's suddenly wearing a top hat. And not only that, but he reaches his hands out to the wing, and a cane flies from the wings and into his hand. He smacks the cane on the ground, and as he does, he is electric on stage, and he bangs the cane on the ground, and you hear whoa.
Yes.
Boom. And he is luminous. Yep. So you guys all get 5 temporary hit points.
Is that everybody?
It's for any creature or I can choose up to 4 creatures within 60 feet of me.
Okay. So
If you so choose,
all the main people.
any one of you can move anywhere you want to without provoking an opportunity attack.
That also takes one of my bardic inspiration slots as well, just so DM knows.
But it uses your reaction. So if any of you want to move using your reaction this turn, you can move anywhere you want to without provoking an opportunity attack.
Tander's
Okay.
actually going to do that towards the kids.
Towards the kids. Okay? As he commands the stage, so do each of you respond as loyal techies to the Barnum and Bailey show, moving about the stage exactly where he needs you to be. Is anyone else wishing to use their reaction to move at this point using the mantle's sort of benefits?
I'm hoping to be there by the kids as well.
That'll get you there.
What about you, Simon? Are you staying up there?
I'm gonna stay next to Barnum because he's closer to the action, correct?
Correct. Yes.
I'm
Lexi?
I'm staying close to where I am, but I'm planting myself in the place between where he is and where the kids are.
Okay. There's a flash of movement as everyone takes their places, and the battle resumes with Barnum saying, "Ladies and gents, this is the moment you waited for." We now go to Tanzor as you sort of have interposed yourself. What are you doing with your movement and your action there, Tanzor?
I'm going to try and grab the kids and just get out of there.
Okay. All 3 of them? There's one that's dancing, or do you want to grab the 2 that are over there and just sort of run these 2 that are scared and cowering?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Seeing as the one dancing can take care of herself.
You know what? Yes, I would totally allow this. You might take an attack of opportunity here from some of these dolls that are about. But I would say give me a strength check just to make sure you don't nat 1 this.
Yeah, that makes sense. 19.
Yeah, that's perfect. You scoop up the 2 kids. 2 of the dolls are going to take an attack of opportunity. 14, does that hit your AC?
No.
Okay. And a 15, does that hit your AC?
Nope.
Okay. You watch as Tanzor goes, "Guys, I got this," and scoops up both kids and just bolts out of the tent to try to get them to safety. Okay. Tanzor, that was a clutch move. I was not planning for that. Well done, sir. Think outside the box.
As soon as I'm outside, I tell the kids to run and find their parents.
Good. Dude, smart move. You get it from your dad.
Well,
The
wishes.
clown's turn. 2 more movements, 2 more attacks from these clowns as these 2 other clowns that are still on stage. One of them is going, I think both of them are actually going to take attacks against you, Barnum.
For the purposes, and I don't know if this makes a difference, but fireworks or pyrotechnics, excuse me, it's an area of 5 feet.
It is. You are covering the space that he is in.
Okay, so it's
you are
just
covering the space that Dr. Desmond is in, but it does 5 feet is just that square.
Cool. Okay, no worries.
Wait, is Etheria still dancing?
Etheria is the one
still
dancing.
I thought that was a concentration spell. But...
Oh.
It is. He doesn't lose concentration being blinded, and he made a concentration check. Attacks against him will be at advantage because he's blinded once he gets out of this cube. Right now, it's hard to see him because essentially Barnum created this pyrotechnics display of smoke and lights and excitement that's all centered around Dr. Desmond. So even you guys are having trouble seeing him as he's sort of being tossed about in this cube.
We're getting the kids out. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, that is a 25 against your AC.
Oh, that definitely hurt. Just barely. But yeah.
Okay.
He's attacking him. I will impose a disadvantage.
Oh,
All right. 15 against your AC.
nope.
Urgh.
I love you.
These you guys are too good at this. Okay, so yeah, one of the clowns comes forward again, but once again you see Simon's trunk sort of wrap around one and shove it off to the side, and as it does, it continues to claw forward, but it can't gain purchase, and it just sort of stands there. Lexi, your move as you are sort of interposing yourself between the kids that were there and now Etheria, who's sort of dancing out and about and surrounded by the dolls.
Okay, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on Etheria, which should end that magical effect. Any
Okay.
spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends.
Okay.
For any spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Roll a d20, add your spellcasting ability
Yes.
modifier.
That
roll
is an
high.
18 plus 6. 24.
You needed a 16. It's a 6th-level spell. So you watch as, in a weird moment, Lexi, you feel as if you're saving yourself here as Etheria stops dancing. And
is anybody looking rough at all?
I think I'm the only one that has damage on him.
I took the first initial 7, but
yeah.
then was blessed with another 10. So
Oh, that's right. Everybody kind of got healed.
You kind of can't heal right now unless it's a cantrip, because you've already cast a spell.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Never mind. Thank you for the reminder.
Okay.
I'm good.
Simon, your move.
All right. I will attack the one that just tried to attack Barnum.
Give me some attack rolls, Bubba.
Let's see, 20.
That a nat 20 or just a dirty 20?
Just a 20 total.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that hits.
I rolled a 14 on the dice.
Okay.
So the sword attack does 9 points of damage, and then it's only additional 10 damage, and then another 8. So what was that? 18 plus what was the sword attack?
Oh, it was 18 plus the sword attack?
Right.
Dude, you don't even have to. No, another one of the zombies.
Like
Well,
this
because
one
I
left.
get 2d8 plus, because they're undead, I get another d8
No.
from the. So it's 3d8. Okay. For my next attack, I'll go after. There's another zombie. There's a 4th zombie.
Yes, there's one more.
Okay, I'll attack that one then. It's on the stage, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so 15 on the die, so 21.
Yes. Full damage.
So 9 for the sword attack. And then 17 for the smiting.
Yep. Once again, the last of the zombies sort of disappears in a puff of smoke and dust. The visage of Simon, the Loxodon warrior of might and magic and faith, is striding across the stage, cutting a large swath into these undead creatures.
be still my heart.
Yes.
I'm out
All
of
of you.
I'm out of 1st level spell slots.
All of you take 8 points of swooning damage.
Oh, I can only take so much of this.
It is now the doll's turn. I'm going to start rattling off. 2 of these are going to be against Etheria, and 2 of these are going to be against Lexi. 2 of these are going to be against Wolf. Okay?
That's a lot of
Trini.
dolls.
Trini.
I'm feeling so attacked right now.
It's like they're doubling up.
First 2. 23 and an 8 against Etheria.
1 yes and 1 no.
Okay. The 2 against you, Lexi, fail. And that's a nat 20 on the dice for
Oh,
Yes. Ow! I mean, no.
Trini. Okay, so let's handle Etheria first.
We have that 10 hit points for a reason. We plan for these things.
One of the dolls comes closer to Etheria, and Etheria dodges to the side as one of these dolls sort of jumps forward and then hits the ground and sort of shatters when it hits the ground. The other doll reaches up behind her and grabs onto her back and places both of its hands on her back, and that is the move. It basically just like plants itself against her back.
I have wings
notice-
there.
What?
I have wings there. That hurts.
Yeah, it's right in the center.
Oh,
So two of them trying to do the same move on you, Lexi, and it doesn't work. You're able to sort of like push your way off to the side. Unfortunately, Trini, as these sort of jump forward and one of them affixes itself to you, I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Which
What
you
was-
still have advantage because you still have advanced ability on.
She does not, because I believe your other spell was concentration as well, and those are both concentration spells.
Pyrotechnics is instantaneous. It's not concentration.
It's not.
It's not. It's instantaneous.
So does it only last for one round?
It's 1 round. It's till my next turn.
Got it. Okay. So you still have Constitution at advantage.
And the first roll was a 19 plus 3 is going to be 22.
Yep.
Second one's
nothing
just
happens.
a 12.
Nothing happens. You feel this sort of dark arcane energy start to sort of pull from you like it did before, but you are able to, in rare form. Dr.
What-
Desmond,
what's the damage on Etheria?
Furia doesn't have any damage to her
Oh, okay.
yet.
Got it. All right.
It is now Furia's turn.
Okay. Is she able to do anything with this person grabbing at her back?
She has a like clockwork doll that has affixed itself to her back.
Okay.
You are able to do anything you would like.
Okay, so this is a DM. Will you allow, because it's verbal and somatic, but can she look over her shoulder and cast a guiding bolt at this thing on her back?
I don't want to sleep on the sofa tonight, so I will allow it.
All right, I will be casting a level. Ooh, guiding bolt is. I'm going to cast a level 2 guiding bolt.
Ooh.
So that is going to be a 15 plus 7, 22 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
All right, that is 5d6.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of ones in there. All right. 4, 6, 79, 10, 11. 11 points of damage.
The doll, you watch as Etheria does one of the coolest moves you've ever seen, where she basically sends a guiding bolt forward, and then the guiding bolt flies forward, Etheria turns around, and the guiding bolt just comes right back and hits her in the back. As it does, it hits the little porcelain doll, and the porcelain doll crumbles to the ground. You hear a scream of anguish from the doctor as he himself looks, and there is a cut that opens up on his sleeve. He was outstretching a hand to utilize the doll for a super cool move that the DM designed, which is now moot and pointless, as Indigo is like to do on most given days with one character, and he was dumb enough to give her 2. Dr. Desmond outstretches his arms and begins casting a spell. That is his turn.
Okay.
Who's next?
Barnum.
I'm going to see him do this, and I am going to try to break more concentration. Because now it's my turn. The pyrotechnics has stopped.
Okay.
Does it stop at the
Stop.
beginning
So-
of your turn or the end of your turn?
At the end of my turn, end of my next turn. So it's the end of my turn now.
Are,
If I- am
so
I-
are you choosing to drop the spell?
Can I still see him if the spell is up?
You're gonna have a harder time seeing him because I believe the entire space is
Yeah,
filled with fireworks and
filled.
smoke, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna choose to drop the spell.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Toss the City's Laughter on him, see if I can just incapacitate him.
Perfect. I love it. Is this a wisdom save?
This is a wisdom save, of course, through the megaphones with a 17 DC on that.
Okay. That is a 20.
Oof.
It is a 19 plus 1. Sorry, big guy.
Oh well, worth a swing.
Yeah. You sort of
It would've
watch
been
as
funny.
It would have been funny.
Barnum reaches out his hands and tries, and the doctor feels a chuckle sort of coming, and he goes, "Boy, I invented laughter," and he like pushes the laugh like away from him, the spell away from him.
Well.
Are you doing anything with your bonus action?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have many of those left. Bonus action. Have we?
Are you inspiring anyone?
I absolutely am going to. Actually, I'm going to try this one more time. Have we been in combat for a minute? Roughly?
No, you have not.
Okay, never mind then. Then I will, once again, I'll use, Mantle of, not Mantle, but I'll use Bardic Inspiration on our Paladin, Simon, our good old beef boy over there. He's gonna hold his hand, he's gonna hold Simon's hands up, because I assume you're still right next to me. And just be like, our champion, our rock, our hard place, our immovable object and unstoppable force. This man right here has single-handedly taken down 4 of your zombies? Do you think you can stop us? I don't think so.
Take that D10 of inspiration, bro. When that spell drops and Barnum's turn ends, Tanzor, it is your turn. However, the held action of the spell is let go. As it does, the dolls that are around the ground and that are climbing up out of the carts all fly backwards and inside the chest. The chests start very quickly, one jumping into the other, one jumping into the other, and the last jumping into the one. At that moment, Dr. Desmond's eyes go a dark, dark red color. There is a chest on the stage with all of you, and it is just Dr. Desmond with his eyes completely black. Tanzor, you are outside of the tent. What are you doing with your move?
I'm going to try and get back in and take a swipe at Desmond. If possible.
Do you have anything that would allow you to move fast as a monk?
I should.
Maybe burning key to do fleet of foot. Can you do that yet? Or step of the wind?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
So I'm going to do that. And then attack him with my sword.
Tanzor channels into that deep training that he's used over the years to train his body to be that of a temple, to be the perfect machine, physically attuned to the environment around him. And Tanzor is a blur as he weaves in between the wreckage of the sort of porcelain dolls that are there, leaping over the wooden benches until he is face to face with the demonic presence in front of him. Tanzor, give me an attack roll.
Oh, jeez.
After that intro, you better not miss.
How does a 9 do?
A 9 total?
Oh.
Yep.
Tanzor, having expanded so much energy to get to the stage, as he brings the sword up, there is a lightning fast reflex as the doctor sort of grabs his hand and holds it still, pushing it to the side, almost challenging him to use a second attack in his direction.
And that I do. Doing an unarmed strike, kicking him backwards.
Perfect. Expecting
Well,
another
you-
sword.
Yeah, I'm saying he's gonna. You get an additional attack. So if your unarmed attack counts as like a third attack.
You can utilize that as a bonus action, but use that sword again.
Okay, I can do the unarmed and sword again. Right.
Now do
Yeah.
the sword and then do your unarmed. You slash him, then you kick up with both feet, knocking him back.
Then I'll do that. That's a lot better. 23.
23 hits. Roll damage on your sword. Next up is going to be Lexi and then Simon.
All right. So at this point, main guy's on the stage.
Hold up, Lex.
Oh.
You're just next up in
Oh,
the
sorry.
initiative order.
Okay.
5 points of normal damage and another 4 points of fire.
Another 4 points of fire. Cool. Give me your offhand attack. As you watch as the sword was blocked the first time, but then you watch as Tanzor sort of throws the sword up in the air, catches it with the other hand, and swipes it down. The fire cutting through, and he grabs at his chest, going, "Elephant! I can't get hit by an elephant."
And that would be a 21. And as he kicks him, he
Yeah.
says, I'd like to see you try not to get hit by this one.
There is a movement where he brings up both of his hands to stop the sword, and Tanzor smiles, and then both of those elephant feet just right in the chest. Boom! He's knocked off of the stage, kicked, laying in the dirt before you.
That would be a 7 for damage.
Perfect. Yeah, he's looking a little beat up, guys. Great move. 3 attacks, all 3 land. No, 3 attacks, but 2 of them landed. You still did a massive amount. Well done, Tanzor.
All right. So at this point, we have a trunk that's got multiple of these doll clown thingies inside it, but it
Yep.
seems to be closed. Correct?
It's open.
It's
The other
open.
trunks went inside of it. It's still open.
It's still open. So the clowns and the trunks are all inside the one item.
Sure.
Okay.
As
So
far as you know.
this is a weird little gamble, but we've only got one to take out, so I'm gonna gamble and see if this works. Okay, so I'm going to cast third level dispel magic on that trunk. I'm gonna try to take out everything that's left back in there. So what?
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
I
Like
don't
that's the best counter to my plan ever.
Okay.
this could be I don't know, this could end up bad or good. This could end up in many, many different directions, but I'm gonna try it. Hey, why not? And if not, we'll just beat up more stuff. All right. Since I don't quite know how this is working, I'm gonna try
Glad I had all these plans.
it.
Give me a D20. Add your
Okay.
spellcasting modifier to it.
All right. So
It's too good not to see what happens here.
it's a 17 plus 6. So that would be a 23.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all ever saw it, but there was an episode where Matt had planned this epic battle and had drawn out how the ships were going to do so much damage and how much each cannon and how much it ended up they bypassed the ship. They didn't get to use all the damage on the boat that he had planned. That's what just happened.
Okay. Okay. Here's what happens. Lexi walks forward, and as she does, she casts the spell Dispel Magic, sort of thus ending the spell on the crate. As it does, the 3 other crates are also affected by this spell, which were extra-dimensional items, including the bag of holding. So, what this does is, as this spell is cast, there is a momentary pause where Dr. Desmond sits up, looks at it, cocks his head to the side, and that's when the dark portal opens. I'm gonna give everybody athletics checks at advantage as the 5 of you,
Oh no.
Don't cross
the
the
6
streams.
of you.
Oh no.
Are inexorably drawn towards this wonderful
Oh
black.
no.
I will give you athletics or acrobatics at advantage as you start bolting out of this tent.
Oh,
thank
no.
God. Thank God it's acrobatics because I'm terrible at athletics. I'm still kind of bad. That's 14.
All I can say
Okay.
is thank you for advantage.
My first roll was a 2.
Oh gosh.
Mine was a 4, but I'm guessing that probably wasn't going to do me much good.
Could it
Mine
be
was a nat. Mine was a nat 20.
athletics or
So
acrobatic?
Athletics or acrobatics. I'll give you
You still
either.
have inspiration. Remember that.
Yes. yes.
I just rolled a nat 20 and a 19. So
Nat 20 and a
Oh,
19.
nice.
It's
Is it
19
18
total.
Is it
19
18
total.
total? Okay, go ahead.
Eight.
Sorry.
18.
Is
19
18 enough?
Yeah, 18 is enough.
Because I'll use my bardic inspiration if I have to.
No. What about Trini? What did you get?
23.
23.
Oh, I didn't have Etheria roll. I should probably have her roll too.
No, Etheria can fly. She's
Okay.
doing just fine.
Oh, I'm getting sucked into the hole, boys.
So the 4 of you and Etheria start making your way out. The problem is Barnum is a performer, and he's on stage close to this trunk when this trunk goes off. There is this suction as all of the little dolls and the body of Dr. Desmond go flying towards this extra dimensional space that seems to be getting larger and larger because there's a little portal and then you hear this pop and the portal gets a little bigger and then pop, the portal gets a little bigger and then pop as all of the trunks are sort of adding to this sort of portal. I will say,
Oh, what if, as Etheria is flying out, because they're going to go in a certain order, right? Like it's going to go like clowns and then him, and the last person to go would be Barnum, right?
right?
So what if just as he gets sucked in, Etheria counterspells it?
I would say even Etheria knows, you would have to roll 4 d20s, and it takes 6 seconds. So while you're casting that first counterspell, you would get sucked in.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh,
is there a way I could get the feather to him?
Oh, the
Clever
feather.
boy.
The feather.
Give me a dex check, Barnum, at
Okay.
advantage.
Dex check? I can absolutely do that. Let me pull that up.
Or what if he just uses the feather to fly in and grab him?
I like this better. This is way more cinematic.
Absolutely. Am I still rolling?
Roll your dex check.
Is that advantage, right?
Yep.
Oh, thank God.
Monk could even use an additional key point to move very fast.
Oh no, it's a
Fine.
10.
So I will say this. You're running out, and then you get the idea, Tanzor. You hold up the feather like this, and the feather is held in your hand as Barnum is getting sucked in, and there's this movement where you're thinking about running, but instead you just let go. The feather flies backward, and Barnum, as you're getting sucked in, the feather's getting closer and closer, and it's moving equidistant with your hand. You're outstretching for it. Your feet touch the portal, and right as you are about to get sucked in, you grab the feather. Barnum's ears grow 10 times their normal size, and he starts flapping as hard as he possibly can.
I think I can.
That mantle of inspiration kicking
He
in
can
again.
fly.
And he flies past all of you out into the night sky. The crowd of people that have left the circus at this point are all standing and watching in awe as the different carnival games and tents are sort of sucked into this vortex with a large elephant wearing a top hat and a cane and a red like sort of suit jacket flies around. You guys start running past and you're able to make your way to the crowd of people. You land on the ground as this infernal circus is sucked into the black, dark oblivion of 4 portals that were not there before.
It's so
and
good.
there is
Use the one time use the feather though.
there was a quiet moment where nobody says anything and everyone sort of looks at you, and Etheria just starts this slow clap. As that happens, one of the carnival workers comes out and sort of looks over at you guys and looks back over at the circus and goes, "Well, I guess it is the greatest show on earth." That's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Hey Simon, what's between your fingers?
What? What do you
Slow
mean?
clowns.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to an one on Indigo Chameleon. There was a couple
I'm not
of
allowed
places-
to be on any more after this.
No.
You've
We
thrown
had-
a monkey wrench.
We had Flying Elephants. We had Tunnels of Love. We had one of the best paladin playings I've ever seen while playing Dungeons and Dragons. We had a monk with a couple of clutch moves that saved the day. We had a Barnum who both
Well
Wolf
played.
and I play bards, and we're both just
Well
in awe of you. And the new title for Indigo Chameleon, Breaker of Games. In the best way possible. Thank you, players. I hope you guys had a great time tonight.
Absolutely.
I
That was a
can't.
blast.
I would love if you guys are available, if you're up for it, to have another session. I love these guys already so much, and I already have another adventure sort of planned for you guys. If you're willing to trust me on this one, and the Tusk team shall ride again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for everybody that followed. If you're watching this on demand, be sure to follow us on Twitch and give us a like or a follow on there. We'll see you all next time here on Indigo. As always, go find people that share your passions. Do something good for your community. Indigo Connect.